There are hundreds of kids that sleep on the floor in the social workers' offices every night because there's not enough families for these kids to have a bed. And these kids did nothing to deserve that. They were taken out of their home in the middle of the night, given a trash bag with their stuff, and then sleep on the floor in an office.
We, at the time, had no idea the need in our backyard for people to step up and take care of these children.
We just kept hearing over and over the need for foster families, how there were so many kids in waiting and needing a place to just stay for the night. And that really broke our hearts and just led us down a different road than we had initially planned. You begin the process by going through a class where you learn about things you might experience or people that'll be visiting your home. Very shortly after that, we got a call that there was a little boy that needed a placement for the weekend, and we were so excited.
Our family grew really quickly. We went from 0 kids to 1 kid, and then 2 months later to 3 kids, ranging from 8 years old down to 10 months old. And so we just wanted to be a safe place for children.
Every kid that has come through a home like you fall in love with them. Everyone says they have a fear of getting attached, but that's what they need.
We still had him, and we got a call asking if we could take another. And at that time, we were living in a teeny place.
I remember exactly where I was, and I had that second foster placement in Braden. I remember just feeling overwhelmed in the moment, not knowing what to do, not knowing what to say. So I told her I would call her right back. I knew that this was the way the Lord was leading us. And so I called Chad and we talked about it, and it was a quick yes.
Being part of a system that is actively failing children, families, is really difficult because you want to change everything all at once. One of the biggest blessings for us has been the relationship that we have built with our children's family. They are our family, and it's unconventional, but it's one of the most beautiful things that we've experienced in life.
The more we learned of her story, the more kind of our hearts broke for her. She was in the foster system as well, aged out of foster care herself. Really didn't have any supportive, positive influences in her life. One of the big things that drove us into adoption and foster care was just the ability to love on some kids that hadn't been loved on, but man, their parents need it just as much, and we saw that with her. And so being able to try to encourage her as much as we could, but even more just be there for her and help give her peace of mind knowing that her kids are in a home where they're being loved.
I think one important thing to remember is we're not called to save these children. They are the Lord's, and we are called to step into the mess and to obey what the Lord has called us to do, which is take care of children and be a voice for people who don't have a voice.
By the time Bentley had just turned 1, we got another call asking us to take in his brother. We felt maxed out at that time, but man, here's another one that has need and opportunity to be there for them too. Before we got up from the table, we're like, we're doing it.
It's very interesting. People always see and say adoption is a picture of the gospel. And as we dive into this and experience this, we actually see a little bit more of reunification being a picture of the gospel. The fact that the Lord has come in and mended something that was broken, has brought this family back together. We get to go and celebrate the adoption of our kids with their biological grandparents. And for them to go and spend summers with their biological family is really a big deal for us. And we're really thankful for what the Lord has done in that, because so often you see people just want to kind of go in, adopt these kids and then have nothing to do with their past life. And for us, that's not the case. We want there to be a healthy healing.
There's tons of way to be involved in the system if you don't want to, or if you don't feel called to be a foster parent.
I won't forget the first night that our first placement was in our home. Someone brought us a meal, and that was huge.
You can donate money to organizations that are actively advocating for these children and these families. You can donate your time. You can be a mentor for a youth in foster care. You can befriend a foster family if you don't know one.
You could provide respite care. It can be fairly exhausting for the parents to deal with that, and dealing with, like you said, court, and then therapy, and then visitations.
Well, I would say maybe not everybody is called to foster or adopt. There is absolutely something that anybody and everybody can do to be a part of.
The system is broken, and as the church, we need to step up, and help in whatever way that we can.